In this presentation, our goal is to provide an introduction as to how Eastern systems of health cultivation achieve their objectives, and how Western science provides us with mechanical examples of why they are so effective. While research is still in progress, and time does not permit presenting the entire scope of this work, it is hoped that this will serve as a jumping-off point for the aspiring practitioner's course of self-study. The systems we know as yoga and Qigong were created during periods of history in which modern medicine was not available, and self-care in the form of exercise, meditation, breathing techniques, folk medicine, etc. was of utmost importance in staving off old age and disease. Out of these systems grew a fascination and body of legend surrounding immortality. Many cultures from all over the globe have stories of humans who have lived far beyond the normal span of human life, or even conquered death entirely. While we can't prove the existence of the immortals, we have results-based evidence that clearly shows the benefits of these practices. For example, millions of people in China arise each day to practice Qigong in the park and enjoy a quality of life and health that is vastly superior to what our seniors in the West experience. So, how is it that thousands of years before the invention of the microscope, the Vedas of ancient India were expounding upon medical theory, or the Yellow Emperor of China was engaging in dialogue upon which the ancient medical textbook, Huangdi Neijing, would be written, and both systems not only worked then, but worked now, and are still in use? One theory that might be put forward is the idea that, while not having the sophisticated instruments and methods of observation available to modern science, thousands of years of observation and experimentation produced an understanding of how the various systems of the human body interrelate in holistic fashion. For example, a physician of Chinese medicine might read your pulse and state that you have a deficiency of qi in your lungs, caused by an excess of the water element in reference to a phlegmy winter cough. The same condition might cause an Ayurvedic doctor to deduce from the various colors of tissue on your tongue that you have an excess of kapha in your body. While these diagnostic processes might sound foreign to the Westerner, they are predicated on a principle recognized by Western science, homeostasis. Homeostasis is a fancy word for balance. The body is always seeking to balance itself, both mechanically and chemically. Whether it is the tensegrity of the musculoskeletal system, or the reabsorption process of the kidneys, the body's own regulatory systems are perpetually working to maintain a multidimensional balance. This concept of dynamic balance is not only echoed in the practice of Eastern wellness systems, but is a cornerstone of the philosophy behind them and many other ancient mystery schools. So how do these practices work? We'll need to take a look at some of the systems of the body. The musculoskeletal system consists of bones, which are not only load-bearing structures, but store vital minerals as well, and muscles, which contract and relax, flexing and extending the skeletal structure. The poor posture of modern life causes deformation of muscle and bone tissue, resulting in conditions such as upper cross syndrome or sciatica and piriformis syndrome. Yoga and Qigong feature an organized approach to rehabilitating poor posture and correcting problems in joints and muscles that are the results of years of improper positioning and movement. In addition, these systems offer light resistance training, encouraging hypertrophy, meaning growth, which teaches muscles to hold the skeleton in correct positions, and encourages thermogenesis, the body's natural fat-burning mechanisms. This activity also begins to enhance the body's circulatory function. The circulatory system is of immense importance. Most people are aware that lungs supply blood with oxygen and that the digestive process provides nutrients which feed the cells. The powerful messengers of the endocrine system, hormones, are also transmitted via the circulatory system. Venous blood return and the circulation of lymph are also circulatory functions and are dependent upon musculoskeletal movements, as they have no pumping mechanism, relying instead on a system of vessels with one-way valves. The breathing techniques and multiplanar movements of yoga and Qigong enhance the body's circulatory function, helping to deliver the maximum amount of oxygen, nutrients, white blood cells, and hormones, constantly helping the body help itself to achieve equilibrium. For as long as humans have been aware they have a mind, they've been attempting to map it. In modern times, we are able to precisely map the neurology of the human brain and body, even locating which portion of the brain is responsible for a particular function. Thousands of years before Sigmund Freud was dividing the mind into ego, id, etc., sages such as Lao Tzu, Buddha, Shankaracharya, and others were road mapping the mind and teaching methods to cultivate healthy functioning within. Eastern systems don't necessarily equate mind and consciousness with a cerebral center. As an example, we see Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs represented here in the chakra system, with each higher chakra roughly corresponding to the higher functions described by Maslow, indicating that the ancient peoples who designed these systems were already far more advanced in the field of psychology than our current society. Of what use is all this to the modern person and the state of their mental health? The phrase stress is a killer has become so commonplace as to become a cliche, but it is factual and rooted in the anatomy and function of the human body. Neurologists have informed us of a division between what is known as the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system was designed for when the saber-toothed tiger leaps from the grass, and the classic fight or flight responses kick in, preparing one for a survival situation. The parasympathetic nervous system is sometimes referred to as the rest and digest system, as it governs those functions that occurred when our ancestors were at relative ease around the proverbial campfire, enjoying the rewards of their efforts. The perpetual stress of our modern lives puts us in a constant state of what is known as sympathetic dominance. Like driving at high speed in low gear, this produces drastic consequences in the body that, over time, result in all manner of disease, as the nervous system is linked to organs in their function, and sympathetic dominance inhibits the digestion and retention of nutrients in the body. Running in high gear starves us, depletes us, and causes destructive wear and tear. Ancient systems such as yoga and Qigong offer ways to shift back into parasympathetic condition, reducing these psychological effects of stress. These include the activities themselves and supplemental techniques of breathing and meditation, along with the philosophical approach to daily living. With this overview, we begin to shape our understanding of how these practices help the body regain its own healing balance. By correcting the effects of poor posture and stress on the muscles and skeleton, and toning the muscles involved, we begin to relieve the compression of nerves and circulatory vessels, allowing for maximum delivery of vital chemicals and nutrients throughout the body, all while enhancing our metabolic rate. This superhighway of enhanced delivery, combined with techniques to ensure the maximum amount of air intake into the lungs, increases the amount of oxygen delivered to each cell of the body. The methods addressing functions of the mind reduce the amount of stress in our lives and the impact it has upon us. A self-perpetuating cycle of wellness is then possible, with measurable improvements in health and quality of life.